Hello my friends and welcome back, and guess what? I've had a number of requests for me to make a tomato aspic. So I've never made one. I've made aspics before but never a tomato one, and they wanted me to do a vintage tomato aspic. So of course, you know me, digging way back. So this is going back to the 30s, my friends. So let's get on it. All right, so we're going to start with 2 cups of tomato juice. I guess this was something super popular. Apparently some people still really enjoy it. So I'm using just regular tomato juice. I'm going to shake this though. It doesn't say you have to, but I'm going to. So we're going to start with 2 cups of tomato juice. Now I'm going to be putting this all into a saucepan because according to the recipe, we're going to bring it to a boil and then we're going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. So there we go. Alrighty. 2 cups of tomato juice. Now we're going to put in a ½ teaspoon of onion powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of allspice, 1 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, 1/2 teaspoon of celery seed, and 2 whole cloves. So there you have it. I got 2, counted them out. I'm going to mix this up. Now I'm going to get on over to the stove, bring it to a boil, and then I'm going to reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 15 minutes. So I guess I'll be seeing you in just a little bit here. Well, these tomato aspic stuff is starting to, while it's simmering, we're going to start blooming our gelatin. So we're going to use 1/4 cup of cold water and 2 packets of plain gelatin. I'm using Knox, but I think that's pretty much like what everybody uses. I know there's only a couple of brands out there that still make it, the plain gelatin, but we're going to let this do what they call bloom. So we're going to put this into the cold water and we're going to let it start doing its thing. There we go. Bloom away, guys. Alrighty, well that's finishing simmering. We're going to finish blooming up our gelatin. So now we're going to add in 1/4 cup of boiling water into the gelatin. And we're going to whisk this together. And hopefully it does that with no lumps. You don't ever want any lumps in your gelatin. That's where a whisk comes in handy. Now comes the handy dandy part. Now I'm using a silicone mold, but I'm still gonna give it a spray. It said to give it a spray, so I'm gonna give it a spray, but I think they were talking about for one of the metal gelatin, molds, but I'm gonna still do it anyway because, I don't want this sticking. Alrighty, so now I'm gonna set that off to the side and let's get our tomato stuff. Okay, this has been simmering for about 15 minutes, so it's really hot. Now we're gonna add in a tablespoon of lemon juice, and we're going to add in our gelatin. I want to make sure we get it all because we want it to gel. And we're going to mix this all together, whisk it all together really well. I'm just following the recipe, guys. Alrighty, apparently this was served at like every brunch and everything, So when I'm using my silicone molds for something like this, I put it in a pie dish to give it some stability because, these are pretty flimsy, but they sure are handy. So now we're going to go ahead and pour this right on into the mold. And I'm going to put this in the refrigerator. It says for 6 hours, 6 hours. And in 6 hours, I'll see you then. And we're going to, we're going to serve this up and hopefully it tastes better than it sounds. Just saying. Alrighty now, can you see it or what? Okay, this is the tomato aspic. It's been 6 hours. I am hoping that that's enough time. I don't know, this is a first run at it for me. All right, So hopefully this all works out well. So I'm gonna go ahead and flip it. Okay, fingers crossed, everybody. Everybody say a prayer. Here we go. Oh, okay. You know, I'm gonna do it this way. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Alrighty. Let's hope. Oh, look at that beauty. Would you look at that beauty, right? Now, is that picture perfect? Now, it says, this is so gorgeous. Let me show you again. Oh, my God. Okay, so now it says we're supposed to, you know, put a little parsley on here. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the edges and put a little on top. Okay, let's serve up some. So we can get to the good stuff, right? Okay, so I'm not sure if you're supposed to serve this with like a fork or a spoon, so I'm gonna serve it with a spoon. Okay, there we go. I hope I don't drop this. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, and I'll put maybe just like a little bit on the plate like this. What do you think? Okay. All right, now I'm gonna slice up another piece, and I'm gonna get Maggie in here, and we are just gonna have a good old tomato time for ourselves. I'm excited.